This video I'm going to unbox and assemble the Monoprice Workstream adjustable desk mount for 15 to 34-inch monitors. So after opening the box, the first thing I will do is go through the installation guide to see how I need to put this together and install it on my bench. And at the top of the guide, it lists and labels all the parts that come with the arm, and then it shows how it all goes together below along with more diagrams on the back. So next I will pull all the parts out, close the box and set it aside. Then I'll take all the plastic off almost everything I need to start assembling the monitor arm. And from here, I'm curious how well the mount slides on and off, so I will pull the latch back and insert it in, and take it out a couple of times to see that the design works really well. Now I'm going to try to figure out how to assemble the parts on the bottom to mount the arm, starting with the clamp option. So the first thing I need to do is bolt on this L-shaped bracket, which requires 3 small screws that are in the package with the turning knob. I will open it up to get the screws and Allen wrench I need, and then take a look at the assembly instructions again to confirm that I don't need to do anything else before this step. And that happens to be the case, so I will take the first screw and the smaller Allen wrench and install the first screw into the center of the arm base. Then I will screw in the other 2 and go around to tighten them all down after I have all 3 screws installed almost all the way into the holes. And after that, I'll peel off the back of 2 of the small round pads and stick them to the screws I just inserted that are the closest to the outside of the base. Next, I'm going to screw the clamp onto the bracket I just installed, and I will use the first 2 holes coming down the bracket from the arm. So I will line the clamp up with the top holes, insert the first screw, and then tighten it up with the smaller Allen wrench I just used to install the bracket. Then I will line up the next hole so I can insert the second screw and tighten that one up as well. And I'll open the clamp up to make sure it works properly before snapping the black part for cable management clip onto the bracket. Next, I will read the instructions and then put the pieces together for the other option to install the arm, which is how I will do it since the arm will be in the middle of a bench. But before I install it that way, I want to test the arm out and adjust it with the monitor attached since it will be easier to do after clamping it to my workbench. So I'm going to attach the part that will mount the monitor to the arm, and I will try using the 4 screws in the M-B packet that are a little wider than the screws in the A packet, which are also commonly used with monitors. Now I will pull out the 4 flat washers in the M-C packet and then test to make sure I have the correct screws before lining everything up, but this is where I figure out that I need to use the smaller screws. I will place the mount on the back over all 4 of the holes and then place a flat washer over the hole and insert the first screw. Then I will use my drill motor with a Phillips head bit inserted and go around to install the rest of the screws, making sure not to tighten them up all the way. And after I have all the screws in most of the way, I'll go around with a regular Phillips head screwdriver and then tighten the screws up until I can't turn them anymore. Next, I will clamp the arm onto the side of my bench just off camera and then pick up the monitor to slide the mount I just installed into the arm receiver until I hear it click. Now I'm going to take the larger Allen wrench and turn the tension screw in the middle of the arm counterclockwise until there is enough tension to hold the monitor up. Then I will use the same Allen wrench to loosen the bolt near the mount just enough so I can tilt the monitor to the angle I want. And I will test the movement one last time before I remove the lighter monitor to replace it with the heavier monitor I plan to use with the arm. So to remove the monitor, I will pull back on the release tab on the mount and then push up from directly below the mount on the monitor. Then I will lay the monitor flat and test out the tension on the arm without the monitor attached, and I notice the arm will now spring back up really fast, so you want to be aware of that for safety reasons. So I screwed the mount on the back of the new monitor to test off camera, and you can see that I needed to use the 4 outer holes to attach it to the other monitor. And now I will pull back on the release tab again to take the heavier monitor off because I want to switch the arm from the clamp mount to the bolt mount option. So the first thing I will do is pull the plastic piece for cable management off and then remove the 2 screws that hold the clamp on the L bracket. Then I need to peel the sticky pads I installed off the 2 outer screws and then use the smaller Allen wrench to take out all 3 screws holding the L bracket on. Now I'm going to take the other hardware to mount the arm using a bolt instead of a clamp and place the plate with the bolt sticking out on the bottom so the 3 holes line up. Then I can start the same 3 Allen screws I used for the L bracket and then tighten them all up again using the smaller Allen wrench. After drilling a hole slightly larger than the bolt on the end of the arm and blowing out the dust, I will slide the bolt down through the hole and go underneath to fasten the arm to the table. And doing that is very easy. I just slide the flat metal piece onto the bolt and then thread the plastic knob on until it's tight enough to not start unwinding itself when I move the monitor. So after I have the arm installed on the bench, I'll mount the monitor and then test out the movement of it to make sure I have the tension adjusted properly. I'm very happy with this arm. It moves really easy into any position that I need when I'm experimenting with computer builds. Hopefully this video has helped, and feel free to ask any questions that you still may have in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more quick and on-point videos.